Welcome back, winners and losers, to another week of Take the Points. I'm Fat Sam. Here with me, as always, the world-famous T-Bone.
Present.
And our enforcer, Joey Guns. So let's recap week six real quick. We didn't do as well as we did in week 5. You know, there's ups and downs, and last week was kind of a down. We did okay with our picks for the podcast, and overall, I think we were just barely over 50%. But there were a couple of games that really hurt us last week that we had as surefire locks that when we went to the casino to bet, we were sure. We had them in parlays, we had them in money lines, and they didn't work out so well for us. But overall, we were right on with a couple of games, and let's give a quick rehash of what we picked last week and how we did. So, T-Bone, let's start with you.
Yep.
I know that your lock last week was Atlanta.
Yes.
You loved it. I hated it.
Yes.
And
you really hated it, actually.
I did.
I remember that.
I'm starting to get down on the Vikings, but I know you really loved it.
I did, and I was pleasantly surprised. Matt Ryan went 30 for 40, 371 yards, 4 touchdowns against the Minnesota Vikings defense that it's had its good and bad moments, but overall I think they're on the downside. But, between Matt Ryan throwing it finally and Julio Jones coming back, scored 2 touchdowns, had a massive game. I think kind of like I had predicted it was going to happen. I said if Julio plays, it was even better for him. And they even got Hayden Hurst. He got a touchdown. I think he had like 4 catches for 57 yards. So between all of that going on and the fact that they were playing at home, you could just tell that the Vikings had the momentum going, and they finally got their first win. So I was happy to see that, and that was a good bet on my part.
You know, that's one of those teams that they're very confusing to me because the talent is there.
Atlanta?
Atlanta has so many talented players at skill positions. Matty Ice has proved over the years that he can be as great as any quarterback out there. So, yeah, when they put it all together.
But the defense, too. Finally Atlanta's defense didn't let the other team score 40 points in the second half.
They played a full 4 quarters.
That made a huge difference.
And that was huge. So, my pick of the week last week, which I was very proud of, was the 49ers as home dogs.
And I hated that pick.
You did? And I got to say, before the game started, they have the crew there that makes their picks of who they thought was going to win. And Tony Dungy was the only one who said that he thought the 49ers would pull it off. For the same reasons that I had said. They were due. They're a good team.
Against the Rams' offense that was looking good and a defense that was playing solid.
Yeah. But they came through. They really looked good from the first drive on.
Yeah. And you did say that being an inter-division game, it was probably going to be tougher than what it looked like on paper. And that held true.
Which is going to lead into some of our picks for week 7. But real quick, one more game we both loved last week, and it also came through with it, was Chicago.
Yep.
The Bears, who knows? Are they as good as their record, or are they not that good and just get lucky? It's hard to say, but we both loved them last week on the road, getting points, and that one came out for us too.
Yeah, and me being a Panthers fan, I just saw that coming. I knew our defense wasn't going to do well against that team, and then also I knew that our offense was going to struggle with a decent defense, which that's what they have. That's what Chicago has. So it made sense to me. It played out exactly like I thought.
Both are interesting teams going forward, I think. We'll see what the season holds in store. And also, Joey Guns, let's talk about your parlay pick of the week last week, and also some of the dangers or interesting things about over-unders. So give us a recap, Joe.
So, Sam, it's like you say, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose badly. And last week was a bad loss for me. Specifically, the taking the over and or taking the under rather in the Baltimore Philly game. Everything was looking great going into that fourth quarter. You got 10 minutes to go. It's 30-6.
I thought for sure you had it.
They could even score another touchdown, and I still had plenty of room there. At 44.5, I believe, was the number.
You knew Philly wasn't going to win at that point, so you wondered how much
Right,
fight was going
right.
to be left in them.
But Baltimore didn't have to
Absolutely.
roll over and just let them keep scoring either.
That is true.
Which is what happened,
Yeah.
and 10 minutes later, the score was 30-28, and I had been burned very badly on a game that didn't need to be 30-28 because for
Had no business being
40
28.
48 minutes of the game, it was pretty one-sided. And I parlayed that with the Dallas-Arizona game, where, again, I took the over on that game because I thought it would be a shootout. I thought there
it would
was
be a high score myself.
Dallas was going to put up a lot of
Dandy Andy to win it, right?
offensive
We talked about that game as well.
production, and there wasn't a lot of offensive
A
production.
lot of turnovers.
A lot of turnovers. And in
Zeke,
fact,
that was all Zeke.
it wasn't even that far off from the over because of Arizona's prolific scoring ability. But there we were, 7 points under because Dallas just could not score.
Andy looked rusty. He just
Yeah.
looked rusty too. So, it was kind of a strange coincidence how that all came together. But, all you had to do was have Kyler Murray throw one more touchdown. It would have been golden.
And it wouldn't be right for me to end this segment talking about how badly I lost from the backdoor, points at the end of the game without mentioning what happened in Pittsburgh. Okay, another surefire under going into a few minutes left.
Yep.
Pittsburgh's up 31-7, and that just wasn't enough, Sam. That wasn't enough for them. They needed to score another touchdown to make sure that they went over the 40.5 that was allocated there in the points total, and they did. And
It's Cleveland. They were playing Cleveland, and you never know what's going to happen with Cleveland. But that was not funny when, I knew you were close on that one, and you're like, this game should be over, and nope, they just had to score again, and I felt bad for that, but
those are the pitfalls of doing the
those
point
are the
totals.
pitfalls.
And,
But like you said, the thing with over-unders, sometimes it's tough when you've got the under and you're rooting for teams not to score because it's human nature to want to see a lot of offense, and, when you see them, I've said before where even this year, I have seen games where, they run out the clock when all they need is another point or 2 points.
And kneel down. They could just kneel, and they, for whatever reason, they kick a field goal, and that ends it.
It happens. It's surprising at how on they are sometimes with the exact score total. But, that is a dangerous business that we are all in. But sometimes it works out that way. Pittsburgh can score, we know that, and they hadn't had enough with Cleveland. So
right. I'm looking forward to talk more about Pittsburgh in the coming week. See what they're
So,
going to do.
on that note, let's move on. We'll go into our next segment, our Week 7 picks. As always, if you want to be a patron, we'll send you all our picks. If you want to send us some money via PayPal, the links are in the description. And
Subscribe.
like
Ring the bell.
us, leave a comment about what you like, what you don't like, and as always, we appreciate it. So, thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Peace out.